going to trace out a diagram for shaper origin. I'll be using a full-size diagram. Using Logic Trace, the first thing I'll do is select the 4 points and I'll define my work area. This is going to be an easy project to trace out because all the lines are straight. So I'll be using the line command for all of the diagram. Not sure why I used the red pencil to mark off my starting spot because it's a continuous trace. Right from where you start off, you go all the way around, right to the end. What really makes this tracing easy is the size of the diagram. The diagram's about 18 inches by 18 inches, so it's very easy to trace out accurately. And like I said, it's a continuous trace, so I never got to really save the file until I was completed. And it's a quick trace. Even with the size of the diagram, it did not take long to trace out this full-size diagram. My plan here is to trace out this maze, create an SVG file, and I'm going to load this file into the shaper origin. That's the portable CNC. And that loads into the machine with a USB stick. So when I'm finished, I'll copy this SVG file to a USB stick and I'll put it into the side of shaper origin, the portable router. I'll program shaper origin to follow this diagram. I'll select the bit size, I'll select the depth and the speed of the machine. I'm also going to color the engraved area, which is 0.15 deep, using a green paint. And after that's completed, I'll just give the whole project 4 coats of clear lacquer. Pretty well finished up, so now I'll save that file as an SVG format. Now we'll go on to setting up the shaper origin. This is the shaper origin and the workstation setup. You can see here this is the shaper origin screen that I'm following on the router. This shows the full shot of the router moving on the workpiece. Basically, I'm following that dotted line, and as it cuts, it turns blue. The important part here is to keep shaper origin's camera facing that white ID tape you see in front of the machine. Shaper origin has to see that white ID tape or it will not work. The engraving V90 bit will retract immediately. The 2 buttons on shaper origin are the green button on the right hand side and an orange button on the left. The orange button is the retract and the green button is to do the cut or the engrave. Also on the screen on the top right hand corner you'll see like a domino. That's how it's reading that ID tape. As long as that stays white, you're fine. When it loses its path, it'll turn red. If that top screen shows red, the router will retract the bit immediately. All you do then is just select your green button there and start the engraver and cut again. You can also see my workpiece is fastened down to the origin workstation. I just used double masking tape. It's smooth going, but you do get a little tense following that dotted line. Following that screen with the dotted line, it makes you feel like you're going to go off course a bit, but shaper origin keeps that right on. Also, I programmed my cut here, that V90 bit, to be about 0.15 deep, so it's fairly deep. All the programming information is on the left-hand side of the screen. The depth, 0.15. I'm cutting on the line, and I'm using a 0.25 carbide V90 bit. Also, you notice there's a vacuum hookup to the shaper origin on the left-hand side. The vacuum keeps your workpiece quite clean. And you need that to be clean because your router is moving up on top of the workpiece, so if there's any sawdust there, it would affect the depth of the cut. I do also move a bit of a clamp around every once in a while, as I just don't quite trust that double-sided masking tape. Mind you, I should, because I have a terrible time getting that workpiece off the shaper origin workstation deck. Getting close here to finishing up all the engraving, so when I'm finished I'll back off with the router and let you have a look at the workpiece. I then gave it a gentle sanding with about 120 grit paper. I first sealed the workpiece and then I applied a green acrylic. Once that dried, I sanded off the green acrylic and I gave it 4 coats of clear lacquer. Tracing out this project was easy and it looks good.